Nope, one of these days I'll get this right, you know. He wants to go there. Alex doesn't like being up there, so there we go. Oh, evening all. Look at that. Rangers win. We keep a clean sheet, and we're on time. What a hat trick. We are going to go through everything that happened today between Rangers and Hibs and talk about the fact that we've actually won a game this season. Enjoy that, because I think we should enjoy it. It's taken us a while to get there. It's been a while. So we are going to enjoy it. And joining me tonight is the man who has got some relief, shall we say, to come onto a reaction pod for a change, because he gets to talk about a win. We have Craig. How you doing? How is Cornwall?
Yeah, I'm back in the police interview room, as was claimed the other day. But no, it was really good to obviously come back off a win. Ian and Kieran in our little group can calm down a bit now. The sort of the bad streak is over, that we finally won a game that I'm on a reaction for. It was enjoyable in the fact that we won and we through to the semi-final.
Indeed. Quite a few semi-finals we've been to for the last 5 years. We've been to semi-finals. It's not too bad. And by the looks of it, if Craig was just to turn his camera slightly that way, you might see Alex, because it looks like they're in the same room. Alex, just quickly, because you have been on pretty much all day again. So how are you?
I'm good, mate. Finally able to celebrate a win for a change and not sit here going, well, what can we change? What can we do? So, yeah, we'll obviously talk about the game. But, yeah, I'm actually in a good mood for a change. So, this is my second of 3 pods today. So, let's hope I'm still alive by tomorrow morning.
Yeah, this might be the last day you get to enjoy something, because I think you're going to get an absolute kick in the knackers later on. So let's get into it. It was a weird day, because obviously we're on late kickoff for Premier Sports. You had the protest. You've had the cameras outside watching Kavanagh arrive at Ibrox as well. I can't repeat the chants on here because it is a non-members show, and all that going on. The crowd was not as bigger than I thought it was going to be, but not a full stadium by any stretch of the imagination. Craig, it's fair to say we're going into this game thinking, I don't think we can get anything out of this.
Yeah, I think the expectations were pretty low coming in. I know the pods this week. I was on the afternoon pod with yourself yesterday, and me, you, and Will. To say expectations were pretty low was probably an understatement. I think no matter the result, we whatever was going to be would be today. I didn't see a win coming just because of the evidence of what we've seen over the first 12, 13 games of Russell Martin's tenure. But we'll come out the other side of it, and all he can do is go on to the next game and hope to build up a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, indeed, that is true. And Alex, we went into the game, waited for that team sheet. Craig was the first one to drop it, as he always is. I always try to beat him, but he always gets in there before me. We saw the team sheet come out. We were wondering, because me, Craig, and Wilford all kind of, Raskin will be in the team, but I think we'll start on the bench, etc., etc. There he was, front and centre. Cornelius in for his start. Miovski up front, as we'd expected, although Craig did say Danilo. And the surprise that Butland was in goal after Liam Kelly doing the presser yesterday, which took us all a bit by surprise, but not a bad thing. But just really having Nico Raskin back in that squad, smile on my face. Don't know about you.
Oh, delighted to have Nico back in the squad, obviously. Ran the show today. We'll obviously talk about the game and how Nico actually dominated that midfield, but he was absolutely needed to be in the team, regardless of ego, regardless of how Russell Martin feels about Nico Raskin, comments, backstage drama, whatever goes on in that back house, we don't know. But Nico needed to be in the squad today. It was great to see him on that team sheet. I do think it's massively weird that Liam Kelly did the presser yesterday and then is on the bench. Surely if you're doing the presser, that almost guarantees you a start, because he said that as well. He did say, if I'm needed to be called up, I'm ready to go. And then, well, you're not needed, you can sit on the bench. So Kelly's not getting any sort of luck there. But it was good to see Cornelius. I thought he was solid today. Didn't put a foot wrong. I thought he was very good at the back. Looked like the centre back we needed. Having that player on the left side that actually knows how to play on the left side. So it'll be interesting to see how him and City get on the rest of the season. But I think it was a good game from Miovski. Got the minutes he needed. I think he got, 74 minutes today? So great to see Miovski get the time he did. I said during the watch along before we started that you needed a goal today. You needed to get off the mark. So getting that goal today will do nothing but wonders for his confidence, because he got it and he just looked like he was trying to get the second, the third, the fourth. So he obviously looks like he's going to be right up for it. And if he's going to be the number one striker, then we need to be giving him service, because the first 40 minutes we didn't get any service at all to Miovski. Then as soon as he gets that one bit of service, it's in the back of the net. So he's obviously showing what he can do. But Russell Martin finally getting off to winning ways under Rangers. But it's only the League Cup. You can't do it in the league. Anything but the league.
Anything but the league. But he's back again, Alex. Ian Mitchell with another super chat, another £5. Hightower can finally smile doing a watch along. I think for what times you've been doing it by yourself, that's the first positive result we've actually had. But Ian Mitchell, I don't know what you've done. I mean, the lottery has only just happened, so I don't know what's going on. But that's probably about 100 quid's worth of super chats he's put in today alone. So absolutely fantastic work from you, carrying on your watch along Man of the Match award from earlier on. Craig, we'll get into it. We kick off, we start the game, and to be fair, at the start, we huffed and puffed a little bit, didn't create anything, and then Hibs did what we all feared would actually happen, the way that we've been going. One long ball over the top, playing the high line. Martin Boyle onside, because he's in his own half. Runs through. Cornelius tries to get back, can't do it. Nearly a good save for Butland, and the ball rolls into the back of the net. And at that point, you think, I just knew it was going to happen. This is coming. We knew it was going to happen. You could feel Ibrox just begin to turn. And we were saved by as they called it on Premier League Sports. What did they? I can't remember what they called it now.
A
factual overturn for handball. A factual over. I like it. It's a nice title. Saved our blushes a little bit. But at that point, you're like, it's only going to go one way still at this point.
Yeah, I think at that point it was DEFCON 1. Everything sort of went out the window and you're waiting for everything to go a bit nuclear. I had to catch up very briefly because my notifications are coming through to say that they'd scored and that it was disallowed. It was one of those where Butland saving it actually then stops Cornelius getting to the ball because he has to go around Butland to try and get to it. I think if the ball goes past, if the ball goes past Butland, it goes in anyway. But it's sort of a bit of a comedy of errors, and it was one long ball over the top. And it was only seeing the replay back. And obviously then I'm not surprised there was a VAR decision today, and it was very quickly overturned, obviously with all the furore last week. But yeah, it was what we were sort of worried about. And in a way, it kind of gave us a bit of a kick up the backside. There were still some issues during the game and still some chances we gave away, which I'm sure we all closed our eyes and hid behind the sofa at times. But very happy that we seemed to, rather than taking that setback or what could have been a setback in a negative way, it did seem to galvanise us for a little while.
Did for a little bit. I just feared, Alex. I just feared at that point that they'll just keep doing that, and they'll just keep doing that, and eventually it'll pay off. I mean, they had other chances, but it was quite stodgy. There wasn't anything really of any note going in that, particularly in that opening sort of half of the first half, if you like. There wasn't notable stuff going on, but it just felt the way that Russell Martin picks a team up. We don't go quick enough. We don't do it. Gassam was having some joy down the left-hand side. He was actually played in his correct position with Mikey Moore put on the right, who was doing very little in the game at all, I thought. But Gassam was a bright light, but you mentioned it in the watch-along that he just likes to take a player on, beat them, and then go, I'm going to do that again. And he wasted a fair few chances to cross the ball in because he just wanted to redo the player every time.
There was a chance in the first half where Gassam, and he was really starting to annoy me because he beat Mulligan, then he beat him again, then he tried to roulette him and beat him again, and then by that point the defender's already tackled the ball away from him. So you're thinking, just get the ball in. You beat him to the point where Mulligan's put a tackle in and he's behind him, but he almost says, I've not beat you enough, or I'm not embarrassed you enough, so I'm going to turn around and try and do it again. There was players in front of him. I think at one point Magoma made a run into the box, Diamandi's in the box. The pass is there, but he just wants to look like he's got the skill to get us going. And I just think he just needs to pass it. He needs to be quicker, because it looks like, and he did it in the second half, and he hit the bar, and it was a great strike to hit the bar, but he's got that option. It looks like he wants to cut in and hit it. It's almost like we're seeing Ryan Kent again. You know, he wants to beat the man, cut in and hit it across goal. But we've got the players in the middle there. Just pass it to one of your teammates. Like, I know you want your name up the lights and you want to get back to the scoring ways, but there's more opportunities where there's somebody in front of you, somebody beside you. We've talked about not giving service to Miovski. When McGowan's got the pace, he's got the large option to cross it. And I get what Ian Thompson's saying there, that he didn't have a pass on, but then he goes back and tries to beat him more and more times. It's frustrating to watch when there's a pass on or there's an opportunity to take your man on and he doesn't do it. But I think Gassam is starting to show that he will start taking on more defenders in this league. And I think if he can keep doing that going forward, Gassam, we will actually start getting goals from him, because he's got the opportunity to hit it. He just needs to not doubt himself. And I think that's what he's doing, because when he was in the second half, he was actually getting shots away. In the first half, he wasn't. I think he's doubting that he's got the ability to get past them. And I think he's just got to show that it can work. It can get past, and he will show it. Yeah.
Now, I was going to mention this, and I don't know if he means us at this point, but I'm going to bring it up because he has mentioned it, and I was going to talk about it. I don't know if Lee Miller means us for not mentioning it and calling out the dog ball fiasco. If it is, we are going to talk about it because it happened and it was on the TV and we all saw it. If it isn't us you're talking about, then I take back this next comment. But you don't know what we're going to talk about on the show, so give us a chance to get there. We've only just started going. We're only 12 minutes in. Okay, we don't need to be called anything. But if it's not us, you mean that too, and you're talking about the TV, then fair play. So, Craig, we then cut away. The cameras cut away very shortly because there was protests going on throughout the game as well. The Union Bears, for all the good they do, again, delaying play because they're throwing a bunch of balls onto the pitch. I was going to talk about this after we talked about the game, but here we are. We're there now. I get that they want to protest, but is breaking up the play the way to do it?
Now, I seem to remember this happening a couple of years ago, maybe, when we just started a game. It seems to stick in my mind that we started a game and they protested somehow at an away game, and then it stopped it. It might have been tennis balls that they threw on the pitch. Protest before the game. You were having your rights to do that. But once the game actually kicks off, don't disrupt the game, because it could have been a point where Rangers were on top, Rangers are in the ascendancy. You do that, and you stop all momentum. But yeah, I totally agree that they can protest if they want to before the game, after the game. But in the 90 minutes, if you're in the stadium, then you should really be doing everything you can and not really disrupting the match.
Yeah, Alex, what did you make of it? You briefly touched on it during the thing, saying that the dog balls, maybe we could collect them all and give them out to those who need a dog ball for families in need. But what did you make of the in-game?
It's just a bit silly to me. It just breaks up the play. And in actual fact, if you go back and watch it, it wasn't long after that actually led to Martin Boyle getting the goal. So obviously took a wee bit of the momentum away from Rangers and a wee bit of the concentration, because they had to spend a good 30-40 seconds clearing it up and getting the balls off the pitch. And as the guys in the comments, it's going to lead to a fine. We're going to get a fine for it. So we protested before the game, during the game, and then we've caused that disruption to the point we're going to get a fine. If you've got any part to play a protest, we held up banners. The Union Bears held up banners twice, 2 different sets during the game. Make that your protest. Make your noise the protest. Don't go and then disrupt the game by throwing about 100 dog balls onto the pitch, because it's not going to solve anything. All it's going to do is waste time to clean it up. If that's your protest, then I think you need to get a bit more creative, because what's a dog ball going to do?
Yeah, I don't really understand the connection. Like, what is the connection to the pro? Yeah, I just don't get it.
Yeah. Right, we do have Russell Martin's press. I've not actually heard it because I was busy shouting at children and telling them to go to bed. So we will play it now. I haven't done this in a very long time, so good luck, everybody.
Do we need a hand there, Ian?
Yeah, I need a little bit of a hand. I don't know what I'm doing.
So bring up the video on your other screen and go full screen.
Hang on. It's not working. Alex, save me.
Right, so you need to bring up full screen on your other browser, and I can bring it in.
Hang on. Let me get it back to where it's meant to start. So this is the art of having Martin here, because he does all this stuff. Not me.
And then just go full screen on it and add your audio.
It's in the scroll. There we go. Oh, Alex, just go into Twitter and find it yourself. I can't do this stuff.
Right. What would the...
I need to remember how to do it. It's been a long time since I did it.
So see if you go back onto Twitter and play it. I can then bring it in. I'll bring it in full screen. If you go full screen on your browser, I'll full screen it here.
It wouldn't let me. That's why we did it. This is a mess. Hang on.
So all I'll do is I'll add it back and then I'll go full screen. There you go. And then click play.
Okay. There we go. Let's do it this way. Is it working or what?
Right, wait till I get it. Oh, wait a minute. Right, we'll go to another topic while we get this up, will we?
Hang on, I just need to get rid of it off my stuff. It's still playing. Anyway, yeah, so we'll keep going. I know it's a live podcast, but this is the professionalism you expect from the Rabble, so don't. AA Studios, I know. It's been a long time since I did it. I thought I had it figured, and I obviously didn't. Next time, I need to go in and work it beforehand and make sure that it's going. But I was confident in my own abilities, and then I got it completely wrong. So we'll carry on. The Hibs, that's thrown me now. We get forward. We finally get there. A lot going. We're getting towards halftime. It's boring. It's not really happening. I actually am more annoyed at Nick Walsh during this thing because every single time the ball went near a Hibs player and they hit the deck, Greg, he'd blow the whistle. I mean, there was one in the first half where Miovski stood still. The goalkeepers jumped up the flap for the ball, did nothing, and he gave a free kick for the goalie.
Yeah, that one was comedic. Even the commentators were saying, it doesn't matter if Miovski, it doesn't matter if the goalkeeper's 5'5", there's no contact. Miovski doesn't even touch him. Miovski actually realizes, I'm going to go towards him, and then realizes I actually don't want to jump because he's punched the ball away already, and he gave a free kick. It was just absolutely comical, but you can't really expect anything more from the man we had in the middle, who I thought, and we can say this because we won. I thought his performance was absolutely abysmal. Certain things and certain decisions that just boggle the mind. But unfortunately, it's what we've come to expect with the referees that we get up in Scotland.
And AA Studios, if that's what you want to do, we're not holding you up against the wall and making you watch. If you want to click off because you don't like what you see, that's absolutely fine too. I believe we have it now, Alex, because the professional is now doing it.
We do. Right, let's get this on.
I really enjoyed the performance. I enjoyed it probably as much as any performance this season. The guys really stuck to the work we did in the week. They played with that. The level of courage and intensity was fantastic. We could have probably scored a couple more goals. And there's lots for us to work on as well and improve on. But I think under the circumstances, I'm really proud of the team, the staff. Everyone stuck together this week, everyone. It's been a really good week for us in that sense. And then the guys went and carried it out on the pitch. So I'm really grateful to them for that.
Being able to go out there today and show that control in the game, is that what pleased you most?
Yeah, I think loads of control, loads of chances created through that patience and control, but move the ball quickly. And of course, there's loads to work on, but they were really together. The guys wanted to take the ball, took the ball under pressure, create some really good moments. Like I said, we could have maybe scored a couple more goals. But we have to grow from this and we have to use this as a platform to build on now.
Yeah, that 5 minutes or so before half time, it was a big 5 minutes getting those 2 goals then, wasn't it?
Yeah, really important. And I'm pleased for the guys and pleased for Nico to score from a set play. We do a lot of work on them and we haven't quite been threatening enough today. We looked a real threat from that. And it's been about work on the training pitch this week, everyone really understanding what's required. And then they trusted the work and they trusted each other, and I'm really pleased.
And for Boyan too, a first Rangers goal for him, what can that do for his confidence moving forward?
Yeah, it'd be great for him. It'd be great for him. So, yeah, just adapting like so many new guys and just no no training time at all before this. So this week's been really important for him, for Yusuf, for the guys to feel. I think Tello's performance was fantastic. So we actually had a bit of time on the training pitch to work. Mikey Moore. So there's loads more to come from these guys, and it'll be great for all of them. But Boyan scored is what strikers live for, and I think he'll be great. It would have been nice if Yusuf had got off as well. He'd done so well to be in with that chance, and but it will come. He's a top player.
Is it now about using this win as a sort of platform moving forward to
Yeah,
build on now?
We have to build off today, and we have to improve. And we've got another opportunity on Thursday to put in a performance that we like and wins us the game. And there was so much good stuff today, but also so much to improve. And I think that's the exciting bit as a coach.
See what happens when you get the right people doing a job? Not only at Ibrox, but also at the Rabble. See, you get the right people doing a job, all goes swimmingly. Dear, there we go. Do you know what? I think for once we can actually lay off Russell Martin. I don't think there's anything too much in there that you can argue with in that sense that, it got the win. It helps. The noise can die down a little bit, maybe. We're not over the fact that what's happened previous to this thing. It's not going to change any of that, but we are going to celebrate the win. We're going to enjoy it. Craig. We'll go to Craig first. I'm having a mare. We got it out there. We won it. Will do Miovski's confidence a world of good getting that goal. We'll come back to it, but overall, I think a post-match presser that you could kind of accept what he's saying.
Yeah, I think he's just sort of he obviously he's going to be a lot happier with the game because we've won it. I think you can sort of brush aside performances when you win a game. Ultimately, you'd rather win the game and not play maybe brilliant than obviously vice versa. I think the manager wants to give a bit of praise to the players. There's some bits I agree with in terms of personal players that played well and didn't play well, and some bits that I wouldn't agree with. But that is what we're all here to do and give opinions. I do feel very glad for Miovski because I did say before he scored that I felt really sorry for him because he was making the runs, he was putting himself in the positions, and he just wasn't getting the ball. I think I said it before. You could have prime R9 in some of the positions that Miovski's been in, and he would struggle as well because he don't get in the ball, he's not going to score. So I'm really happy. Mikey Moore, I'll be generous and say he got an assist for the goal because he's clearly going for a shot there. So I think the main assist really should come from Nico. But happy for him, and I'm sure we'll get into the goal a bit more.
We will do just shortly. Alex, anything you take away from Russell Martin? That one's the Rangers TV interview. I know that at the start of the Premier League, Premier Sports one that I was trying to get on, they very early on quipped about the swim and the walk. Obviously, does them good. Said, maybe we were happier to have the RTV one. So he's not going to get any taxing questions in an RTV one. But if you want to see the Premier Sports one, it is on X. Go ahead and have a look at it. But again, you got it. We won, so we can sort of lay off him a little bit. And again, I don't think there's anything too outlandish in his thing. He didn't come out and say, "See, I told you it would all click eventually," or anything like that. I think he still knows he's in a tough spot, and that has to be a catalyst moving forward for results that we have to get.
It has to be a catalyst. It has to move us forward. That result, and when you look at Russell Martin, if you go back and look at some of his previous interviews, whether that be on Sky Sports, whether that be on RTV, he looks a lot happier. He looks a lot chirpier today. He looked a bit more serious. So I think he knows, one, his job's on the line. He's also he knows Andrew Cavan is here as well. But he's got to know that his job's on the line. But that result will take not a lot. It will take a very small, minute bit of pressure off him. But what you can see, though, is that there's quality in that team. There's quality in the boys. If they're following his tactics, great. If they're not, it's still winning us games. It won us that game today, but the pressure is going to start to come back on Russell Martin because the games are going to come thick and fast. So we've got a game on Thursday, which is it needs to be a must-win. We've got Genk. We need to win that to get off the European campaign off the flyer. But he's then got Livy, which is not an easy stadium to go to. Plastic FC is not going to be easy. So he's got to then win that game because we've not won in the league. So what he's going to find very quickly, and he already has, is that the pressure is going to stick around. If you're in the Championship, if you're in the Premier League, whatever, the games might not be as often. But when you're in 3 and 4 competitions up in Scotland. The games are constant. There's no break unless it's international. So happy for him to get the win today, but it takes no pressure off of Russell Martin's tenure as Rangers manager at all. He's still going to feel it, and he'll feel it right up until his last game, whether that be in a couple of weeks or at the end of the season. He'll feel that pressure regardless, because as fans today, I think there was 35,000 in the stadium, but so he'll have felt that there wasn't a full house, because it was glaringly obvious when the cameras looked about that there was a lot of empty seats, a lot of people not at the game. So he's got to take that on as well, get Ibrox jumping again, and actually get the fans behind him, because he's lost all the fans. Today's results will start to pull people back in because Rangers are winning, but they won't put the confidence on Russell Martin.
And then Ian Mitchell back in again with another £5 super chat saying that he's not here to listen to Russell Martin, just us. Fair enough. I think that's probably a sentiment shared by a lot of people. But and then he came right back with another one after that as well. And, I think we're up to £15 with him on this one. The delay of the game was an interference. Oh, sorry, Aldo. I got that wrong, wasn't it, Mitchell? I'm having a nightmare today. I can't even read. I've not even had a drink yet. Maybe that's a problem. The delaying of the game was an interference of delaying the sacking of the manager, which we all want, Simples. I think he's got his stay of execution today, though, Craig, with that result. And again, as we're all saying, we want it. The one thing we would love is to prove us wrong, turn it round and go on and win the league, mainly so that Alex can get his tattoo and all that sort of stuff. So if it turns around and while Rangers are winning, he's not going to go anywhere. So I think this is a stay of execution.
Now, I also admitted that I would get a Russell Martin tattoo if we win the league at the end of the season with Russell Martin as the manager. So I want it for the joy of getting that tattoo. Yeah, all the manager can do at the moment is win games of football. The outside pressure, he can't do anything about that. Whatever will be, will be. I said before, one game isn't going to necessarily change people's opinions in terms of that we want him to stay or want him to go. Obviously, the league performance would ultimately be the main thing that he's judged on, not the other competitions. So, but while he has won a game of football, all we can do is pat him on the back for today, pat the team on the back for today. Ultimately, though, I think the game, to me, watching it, felt like two teams who have got 10 points from 10 games combined. It wasn't the most entertaining game, but we come out on the right side of it, which is all we want ultimately today as Rangers fans.
It is indeed. But let's get to the good bits. For years, we asked to score from corners. For years. And there's one person who seems to do it more often than not, and is one of the smallest people in our team. We get the corner, we whip that ball in, and there he is. As the title says, Raskin back with a bang, and he gets that header on it, straight into the back of the net. No problem at all. I think it's just the way that the weird and wonderful way the world works, that Nico Raskin was going to be first goal scorer today. Absolutely delighted with it to see Nico score that goal. Still muted celebrations because I'm just not used to it. But it was great to see Nico put us 1-0 up, Alex.
It was a great goal, and as Sniper says in the comments, it's a carbon copy of the Old Firm goal. It was a great goal. Just loves running to that near post, and if Tav can aim for him more, because anytime Tav seems to aim for Raskin at that near post, it's a goal. It doesn't even look like he jumps for it, but yet he still gets his head on the end of it, and it's in the back of the net. But he just knew we knew he had to score that today. It's kind of it was a wee 2s up, because Russell Martin didn't even celebrate it when the camera panned to him. He looked like he couldn't care, so he's a wee bit egg on his face that Nico Raskin was the first one to get the goal today. But we all seen that he got the goal, great delivery from Tav, because a few of his corners today were shocking. Either they didn't beat the first man, or they were just laid to the back post when nobody was waiting. So it was a great goal for Nico to get on it. But then we did something that we never do at Rangers and got 2 quick goals, not just one. We scored like almost instantly, so we were like, right, here you go, here's a double. You can't celebrate 1 goal, so we'll give you 2. But it was just a great thing for Nico to get on it, because I think we'll all agree that he had a great game, an absolute great game today. Like, he just did what he does best. dominated the midfield, and he was everywhere. It didn't matter if he was defending in his own box or he was trying to score in Hibs' box. He was just all over the shop today, and it was great to see that that's what Nico Raskin can do. But he has to do that from the 6th row, because that's his role. That's his position when he plays there. He just dictates the game. And there was a few times when the crowd was singing his song, and when he didn't have the ball, he did stop and give them a clap. So he knows the appreciation that he gets at Ibrox. He knows how loved he is, but he's just not got the backing of the manager to start every game.
Yeah, absolutely. He was absolutely everywhere today. And the goal, I mean, that just sums up his performance. It was brilliant from the first whistle onwards. And I agree. I think the 6th, that's his position. I don't care. Even when Rothwell comes back, you don't try to shoehorn him back into it and move Raskin. Raskin stays there, and you get Rothwell. If he's going to play, you play him somewhere else. But Craig, it was just good to have him back on the pitch. And he absolutely showed how good of a player he is today and what we've missed when he's not been there. Raskin was superb today, and we will talk about him more after, but it was just good to get his goal. And there were a few comments in there that I would have brought up, but they were all sort of having a dig at Russell Martin as well with some choice language. So, it's a members show after all, so not a non-members show, so we do have to be very careful what we bring up. But does Raskin now, for you, moving forward, and should Russell Martin at this point then, every single time we play, Raskin, first name on the sheet, work everyone else around it?
Yeah, new signing Nico looked good, eh? Straight into the team as a new signing. It felt that way. Yeah, he was really, really good today. He seemed to be everywhere. A trademark goal for him. Like Alex said, he does seem to have that in his locker from set pieces, which surprises me. How small he is. He sort of seemed to have the run on the defender. Not too sure what his celebration was all about. I'm sure people will sort of read into that as they do. But yeah, it was great to see. And like Alex said, the key for me was not only getting the goal, but then getting the second one pretty quickly before half time, because you go in 1-0 and the game is still sort of level or sort of equal. But going in 2-0, you're sort of very happy that the game is pretty much all over then at half time, as long as you don't do anything too silly in the second half. But yeah, Raskin for me should be the first name on the team sheet before any of the other players, and build that midfield around him. I think it looked all right today with him, Diomande and Asgard. Diomande wasn't really at it, but that's not anything new this season, unfortunately. And I thought Asgard played pretty well. Was always looking for the ball, and seemed to come into it. I think the more time he's been playing on the pitch, because obviously he was a little bit behind all the rest from pre-season. The more time he's playing on the pitch, seems to be doing him the world of good.
It does, but like Alex has already mentioned, and we talked about Miovski, and because obviously Russell Martin mentioned him during that post-match. It wasn't long before we got the second goal. Again, Raskin heavily involved, closing down, running around like the terrier that he is. Ball breaks. Mikey Moore, for all he had a quiet game, he gets an assist and a good assist. Gets it in there. Miovski doing what Miovski does. He's a striker with that predatory instinct. Gets in front of the aging Grant Hanley, I think it was, and pops it straight in, 2-0. And for the first time this season, we can relax before half-time. We were 2-0 up. I can't remember the last time we were 2-0 up before half-time. But, Alex, we were 2-0 up. I didn't know what to do with myself.
And I kind of was just thinking we just have half-time now, because I know there was still another 2 minutes, and on the watch long, I was going, right, we can go for half-time. And I looked at the clock and said, no, wait, there's still another 2 minutes. We can't go in yet. So I was a bit surprised that we actually got two in the first half and not trailing a game. So it was great to see, but I'd go one step further with Nico and say that Nico should be our captain going forward. He puts in a captain's performance every week, and he showed that he's got it. Obviously, Russell Martin doesn't agree with it, but he's quite clearly got all the qualities we need of a captain. He comes in today. The Hibs team that a lot of saying were good, but they're third in the league, but they've had 1 win and 3 draws. But they were coming here with a point. They don't bring that amount of fans with them to not win. They were coming fully expecting to win today at Ibrox and seal Russell Martin's fate, and we actually had a good game, but we obviously couldn't miss from where he was. I think the keeper had already committed, and it was almost an open goal. It was like Cyril Dessers moment. He's just standing there. He's able to just tap it in because it was free as a bird. So it was great from Jorge to get off the mark because he had another one in the second half that he was offside. But we've cried out for this for so long that we wanted a player being in the position where you're in amongst the defenders and the goalkeeper to be in that pockets of space and get the goal. Miovski's is the player that looks like he's got the pace and the determination to be there every time. Whether or not he gets the service or the ball comes to him, he's still fighting for it. And that's what I love seeing, because I think if he can do that more often, he's going to score an absolute boatload at Rangers, and he's just going to keep us going, because he just looks to me like he wants to be here. Some players look like they're here because they know that they've got a job to do, but Miovski actually looks like he wants to be here and he loves it. And I like Ian's comment that Craig said that Teslas would have skied it.
Well, I was busy in the background doing other stuff there. But
he's gone, Ian. He's gone. Get over it.
Yeah, he's not coming back. In fact, he's actually scoring goals for his new team. So just, we've got somebody new. Somebody who can score goals and be offside. We'd like to be replaced like for like. It's not a problem. Just a little bit of housekeeping now, because obviously you can see the banner at the bottom saying you can join the Rabble as a member for as little as £1.99 a month, which is something that Monster12S has done. It's a YouTube member. Welcome in. Hope you enjoy all the extra content. And if you are a wrestling fan, I'm going to plug it because the three of us are on and we're all part of the wrestling group. We are doing another watch along tonight for the WrestlePalooza. So we'll put more details on that later. We won't get into that now. Away we went, 2-0 half-time, but it could have been cut in half fairly quickly because Hibs did get through again, and a very good cross from Cadden, which you come to expect. He's got a bit of a wand of a foot there to get that ball in, and I think Cornelius's presence puts off Boyle because it comes off his shoulder and goes just wide. But Hibs, still at that point, proving that, that take us seriously because we're still a threat, and it could have been a half. Cut that in half is that you are the weakest, as they say, just after you've scored. How about you, Alex?
I was a meet right there. You go. I thought you were talking Craig there, but I know Cornelius has got the presence because he's obviously a lot of times we've seen it before. We've seen it with Magoma. We've seen it with Nasser Giga, and we've seen it with John Suter. They kind of step off the defenders and give them that little yard of space, and that's where they get it. Whereas Cornelius, for most of the game, actually was right up against the attackers, and he wasn't giving them any time to move. There was a few times that he got fouled because he was that close to them, and I did like to see that he's actually putting them under pressure, because I think if he actually gets more of a contact on that, Butland looks like he's beat, and it could be in the corner. So I think because of the presence of Cornelius, I think he's put him off enough that it's worked. What I do like though is that for being his first start, he's shown that he's going to be a cracking player for us because he's not afraid. A few of our defenders have looked in the past like they're a bit afraid to put a tackle in and a bit afraid to be caught out of position, whereas Cornelius knows that he almost knows he's going to beat the attacker before the ball even comes in. So that's great to see. There was some shaky moments for him. I'm not going to say it in an excellent game, but for your first start, I do think that Cornelius looks like he's going to be a great player for that left side of Rangers and make it his. And he's also got a young guy right beside him as well, and Magoma, who for me has been one of the star signings so far. He's been excellent on that left-hand side. He just looks like he's getting better and better as the weeks go. So I do think that the defence is starting to get there. I do think we probably need a right-back, but Cornelius has just shown that we've finally got two centre-halves that can play together.
And on that, that's exactly what... that's not what Aldo's saying, but, we'll jump to that because that comment just came in as I went to click. I hate it when that happens. Not sure if anyone here has a clue, but Can we sign Magoma because he is utter class? I thought Magoma played well today as well. That back line, solid, always where you needed him to be, up and down as he needed to go. Nothing flashy, just doing the right job, being in the way, breaking it up. I'm not sure we can sign him, but you never say never.
No, I mean, we can. Clearly, we can sign him because we can go out and sign anybody, really, but it's the likelihood of it happening is probably very low. Although looking at the notes from the fan advisory board, that was brought up around a lot of the defence being loan players, and I think it was mentioned that Kevin Fowler or Patrick Stewart did say it's not outside the realm of possibility that some of them could sign permanently. So who knows? The only thing I would say is his parent club would probably want a decent amount of money. After the more he plays for us this season and playing in Europe, he's going to raise his profile. So he probably is outside of our price range. So I'm wondering whether the one that they're saying they might come back is obviously Cornelius, because we do have an option to buy for him.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how they're sort of getting around it, saying, well, not all the players will be loans. Some of them may come back. But I thought, like Alex said, I thought Cornelius was very good today. A bit of a calming presence at the back. Did have a couple of shaky moments. Obviously, with the disallowed goal, there was one late in the second half as well where I think it was Berry turned him and he got a bit tangled up with him. But all in all, I thought he did play pretty well. There was also another chance for Hibs very early on where Boyle put it over the bar. So that was first few minutes, which again was kind of a heart in mouth moment. And anytime the ball went forward with our defence running back.
Yeah, I mean, Hibs didn't do much to us today. To be fair, looking at the stats, they only actually had one shot on target, 6 in total. So nothing really worrying us today. So maybe that's a shown of Cornelius being in that back line. And with that, a couple have said, so Jacob and the starry-eyed shadows that likes Cornelius and thinks that he and Suter could create an effective partnership. The lack of pace in both of them, though, is a worry. Well, Cornelius got around the ground pretty quick. I mean, Martin Boyle's no slouch, and he did get back at him for the goal. I know it was offside in the end, but he did get back at him for the goal. And if you're good enough, you've got the presence to be in the right position. And then following that up, Alex Fraser B. Suter clearly needs a good player besides him to play better. I think that should be a pairing going forward. I can't disagree with that. I thought Suter looked a lot better today. Having Cornelius, being able to play Suter in his actual position as well does help. Playing Suter as a left-sided centre-back is never going to work. I think this could be your centre-back pairing going forward. Maybe every now and again, De Giga or Fernandez coming in for the odd occasional game here and there.
No, definitely agree with you. I think that this could be a partnership going forward. I think too often, not when Suter's being perceived to have a bad game, it's because he's trying to do two jobs. He's trying to cover both sides rather than one. We've seen that a lot in a few goals we've conceded this season alone, where he's trying to cut across and cover both sides because Giga's been caught out or he's been caught out and he's trying to get back. But for seeing that Cornelius doesn't have a lot of pace, he's touch tight to a lot of the attackers, so he's not giving them room to turn and spin away because he's there and he's crowding them out. One thing I did like, and we've seen it with Fernandez and Giga, was they both like to hold players. None of that from Cornelius. Puts a tackle and he gets stuck in and he doesn't let them get away, and I do like that. He's straight in rather than trying to hold and keep the man from moving. I think that's definitely going to be our partnership going forward. We always say, though, don't fall in love with a lone player. I think that's going to be Jaden Magoma. I think we're going to fall in love with him this season because he's going to go. He's shown that he's going to be a class player, but I agree with Craig. I think he's going to be well at our price range come the end of the season because he's going to go strength to strength this season. He's going to play 50, 60 games. So he's going to show that he's got that quality. And when he goes back down south, I think he'll get sold on for a good fee at least. But Johnson, 100%, I agree with James. He's so much stronger on the right. He's more calm, more composed. He's got the ability to get it away. And he's got the experience of James Tavernier beside him. So he's obviously got that. He doesn't need to worry about having to look at both sides. But having him and Cornelius as a partnership all season, yeah, I wouldn't be complaining too much if that's how we see the team sheet every week as those two in the back line.
Well, JD's come up with a thing, Craig.
Sorry, I think it's less being on the right than it would. Suter does seem to play better when he's got someone beside him who he doesn't have to hold their hand through the game.
Yeah.
So when he played alongside Goldson, he played on the left then, and he did seem to play pretty well because Goldson was stewarding the back line. Cornelius has got that same thing. Every other defender that John Suter has been alongside, he's had to sort of marshal them through the game, which, like Alex said, he's then having to do 2 or 3 jobs at the same time, which isn't his strong point.
Yeah, but JD's come up with the perfect plan to get Magoma in. Sell Chimeti for 20 million, get Magoma. And Aldo, WATP, Magoma's sense of covering his left centre back is unbelievably good. I mean, I think if Raskin hadn't had such a good game and got the goal, I think you're looking at a potential quietly an effective, also Sasa Papac-esque, reliable 7, possibly in for man of the match as well. Had a decent game. The second half, we huffed and puffed. We did a little bit more. We did have the ball in the back of the net, as again we said. We had the ball in the back of the net, but it was offside. No arguments with that. Definitely offside at this point. I was beginning to get frustrated, Alex, with Nick Walsh, because the cards are coming out for Rangers players when they fouled, and rightly so. I mean, you can't argue with it, the bookings that we got, but Hibs were doing just exactly the same. Nick Walsh, cards in the pocket, not doing it.
There was the card. So the first card was Tav, which is a clear card. He pulls him back, and then the second one's for Diamandi, again a clean card. But then Junior Hoylett is all over. Raskin pulls him to the ground and falls on top of him. No card. Somebody goes into the back of one of our players. Again, no card. And you think, right, Nick, what's going on here? Have you forgot the cards? So he definitely wasn't for booking Hibs players when the tackles were the exact same. But see, to be fair, we can moan about the referee, but we've moan all season, in all honesty, because it seems week on week that there's a decision that goes against us. This time we at least got the result, because last week there was obviously the handball that wasn't given, but then this week it is. So where's the difference? Because it was the exact same handball. But I do agree there with Mr. Big Bertie. It was good game management from us. Chimiti, unlucky to not get a goal. He showed a good bit of pace to get through and unlucky not to get the goal. Ant-Man was very unlucky. Beat 4 Hibs players. Joe Revo-esque when he slipped in and out, and just puts it past the post. So, again, another player that's starting to get a bit more confidence about him. I just think that there's players there that we've got on the bench that are getting the confidence. They just need that time to be brought through. Chimiti's obviously going to feel it when he's got an £8 million price tag slapped on his head. But, you know, if he's still learning the trade, he's still a young lad, he's still learning it, and he's going to be the backup to Miovski. He's not going to start many games, so he's going to have to take his chances coming on. You know, if he can come on and have a good game, he'll show it, and then he gets a start. But right now, he has to sit and take a back seat, and that's exactly what happened to him at Everton. He got sporadic appearances, and he got time at the end of the game. He only got 15 minutes a day. It was not 15 minutes, 20 minutes he got, and he showed that there's something there. But we just need to let these boys settle in. But it was good game management. We handled it well. I was calling for subs a bit earlier, but I think they worked. They worked at the right time. Deal was took off at the right time because he got booked and then flew into another tackle, injured himself, and then he was took off. Connor Barron got booked for a silly challenge that wasn't even a booking, but again had a good game when he came on. So there's players there, and I think Russell Martin is starting to see the potential in his players, and we just need to start seeing it ourselves that these players have got the potential to come good, because they look like they're enjoying themselves for periods of that second half. They were zipping the ball about rather than what we've seen in the first half, keeping the ball at the feet, not passing it. Raskin had his hands up a few times, just asking somebody to make a move, but in the second half it was flowing a bit better. So I hope that we can get better, but Nick Walsh will never give Rangers a fair game, because there was 2 penalty shouts in that first half, and he didn't look at either. He gave it as a goal kick.
Yeah, and the one Hibs player that did get booked was probably the least tackle, because it was the one where Tav followed through on the clearance and the boy did catch him, but it was probably one where Tav has done a lot of the impact himself and the boy gets booked. You can't even make it up.
Well, we'll talk about something else as well, because obviously Chimiti nearly got through for his first goal. Gets through, showed good pace, I thought, but a decent save by the keeper. Keeper's there to do exactly what he did. So I'm not going to judge him on that. But someone else who, when he came on, because he came on for the stuttering Mikey Moore, shall we say, who didn't have his best game again. But the kid is only 18 years old, so let's not put too much on him. But Ant-Man came on. He did some run. He got that ball and he just kept on going and kept on going. He got his shot off and he was really unlucky. It went around the wrong side of the post, Craig. Is Ant-Man now beginning to get that style, that confidence back that we saw in that first game against Pilsen?
Yeah, I hope so. I can't remember, considering the game was a couple of hours ago, I can't remember whether that was before or after. He had one as well where the ball came out to him and he literally looked straight up and whipped the ball straight into the box without even taking a stride. It went past Chimiti and it went out to Gassama and sort of edge of the box. I thought his run was fantastic, and I just wanted it to go in the bottom corner, because I think the whole stadium would have erupted if he'd have put that in the bottom corner. But yeah, and looked back to what we saw the first game, maybe a bit too soon because he's only getting sort of small cameos at the moment for whatever reason. I thought Mikey Moore was pretty poor today. I thought he had a couple of good little moments. I know he had a shot late on which sort of went wide, but on the whole, he looks like a player that is 18. And I would hope that going forward, Mikey Moore is the one that's coming on for Ant-Man. Because up until today, and I was actually surprised when the game started and Gassama was on the left. I was saying earlier that in effect, Mikey Moore is starting in the left-hand position ahead of Gassam, who's then being shoehorned on the right and then pushing Ant-Man out of the team. I think it worked a bit better today with Gassam on the left, and he was pretty bright. But yeah, I think I'd be very surprised if Mikey Moore is in the team on Thursday. It might be a game that's more suited for Ant-Man on the European stage.
Yeah, but none of us can get second-guess Russell Martin. But we're not going to go there because we've won today. Ian Thompson's decided to leave. At least he said goodbye. He doesn't normally say goodbye when he's on these things. He just leaves, especially if he's actually on the screen. Me and Alex have both felt that one. But bye, Ian. We might see you later. You know, you might pop in for WrestlePalooza. Yeah, never know. The game sort of tailed off. We managed to. I mean, Curtis came on for his obligatory 5 minutes at the end, which is really annoying because that kid's got talent. Again, you could be playing Ant-Man and bringing Curtis on for the last 15, 20 minutes to give Ant-Man a rest. It would work much better. He still got a shot off, still looked quite good. We saw the game out. We win 2-0. But what I did like from this towards the end, and we've got to give Russell Martin the props for it because, you know, he didn't have to do it. He gets Raskin off into injury time so we can get that standing ovation and take the thing from the limited crowd that was inside Ibrox today, but they still made enough noise for Nico.
It's good to get the standing ovation. I think, you know, Nico deserves it. Obviously, his first game back in the team, and the performance he put in, obviously getting the goal in half. I'll give him half an assist because I think it was his assist, right? So I'll give him half the assist. But he deserves it, and obviously I think Russell Martin has to acknowledge that as well, that every Rangers fan loves Nico Raskin. It's quite plain to see when everybody's singing about Nico Raskin, they're cheering for him, he's getting the cheers when he's touching the ball. It's quite obvious to see that he's got such a connection with Rangers that we just want him to play. We want him to be in the team, regardless of egos from Russell Martin and Nico Raskin. He just needs to play, squash whatever issue that you've got in the background, because we can't be hurting the young guy's career. He's obviously playing very well for Rangers, but he's doing just as well for Belgium, and his ambition is to obviously get in that World Cup squad for Belgium. So he'll be getting more and more stand ovations as he goes on, because he's putting performances like that week in, week out, and he doesn't look like he's slowing down. Bear in mind, this is Nico Raskin 18 months ago that probably didn't think he had a Rangers career because he looked so poor, and then the turn of the year it just clicked for him, and he's not looked back, and he's just doing so well. So I really hope that we can keep him. He signs another extension with us and he stays at the club, because if a really sad player to lose would be Nico Raskin.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and Nico he has to be in that. We've already discussed it. He has to be in that team. But we do have a question. We have not had many questions. We've had a lot of comments, but not a lot of questions. And this one's coming in from Ramy. What do you think, Craig, that Andrew Kavanagh will take from this game tonight with Russell Martin, protest, lack of fans, etc.? Do you think he's looking at it and going, I've still got to make that decision? Or do you think he's come in, he saw what we've seen on the pitch today, which we've all seen, and then I'm going to get a little bit cheeky after this with Alex and ask another question. But what do you think Andrew Kavanagh takes away from today? Does he do what we thought he might be doing today, or carry on the way we are? No,
I think they, unfortunately, will stick to their guns and be happy with the result today. I don't think it will change what we believe for the manager and obviously their thinking on the manager. He'll have come in and he's not going to be ignorant to the protests. He's not going to be ignorant to that. The lack of fans could be a number of factors. Manager, time of the day, game tends to always be a little bit low in attendance. But I don't think it's really gonna change their view of the manager. They'll see it as a game that we've won, and let's be honest, won relatively relatively comfortably at the end of the game. So I don't think it's going to change anything. As much as we may want it to change, very few people may not want it to change. But yeah, I think they will be monitoring it, but I don't think it's going to change much, to be honest.
Alex, what do you think that Kavanagh have taken away from today?
To be fair, I think I agree with Craig. I don't think it's going to have much impact on Russell Martin's job. Obviously, we've won today, and you can see that there's slight improvements in the team. I wouldn't be surprised if Andrew Kavanagh's had a conversation to get Nico back in, because I didn't see him being in the starting lineup. I agree. I think he'd have been on the bench. So I think he's had a conversation there. But unless we start losing again, we start the results start slipping away, and we get knocked out of Europe or cup competitions, I think Andrew Kavanagh will stay pretty quiet, in all honesty, until he can't anymore. See, until the point comes to where we can't win any trophies and we can't win the league. That's when we'll start hearing from him. Right now, I don't think he sees it as a massively negative issue, because right now we can still turn the league around. Now, I don't think we can, but he obviously believes we can. He obviously believes in Russell Martin and the appointment, so I don't think he'll take much from it. Yes, the fans are going to protest, because let's be honest, it's been more than poor. It's been unacceptable for any Rangers manager to stay in tenure when this has been the results. But he's turned it around today, so it'll be a week-on-week basis. In my opinion, I think he will, if we have a slip, he might have that conversation. We might hear from him. But if we go on and beat Genk and then beat Livingston and keep rolling on and on, then he's not got any reason to come out and make a statement or talk about Russell Martin's tenure, because if we can start turning this around and actually get the results, then Martin's obviously going to say, well, I knew that it was going to get better. I said it after last week at Hearts that this was going to be the worst it was going to get. I said it the week before as well that it was going to get this the worst. I said it at Bruges. Well, actually now we've won a game. Can I get a wee bit of slack? Which isn't going to happen from the Rangers support, but I think in terms of the board and Andrew Kavanagh, he'll start to get a bit of relief that, okay, let's see if you can turn it around. This is the first step in a long road, but I don't think there's any chance a statement's going to be made about his tenure now.
Yeah, I thought the only way that happened today was if we lost, and then you're probably going to expect a breaking news pod before we go to the wrestling tonight to talk about the fact that Russell Martin's been relieved of his duties. Has he's won? I think he stays there until they need to actually pull the trigger. And if he keeps winning, that just won't happen. And if he keeps winning, we'll be successful and we won't care anymore. So there we go. We do have another question though. WATP 1872. Do you think the crowds will stay away like tonight, or will they get bigger and bigger? I think it's fairly simple, and I think we can all agree on it that as long as we keep winning, the crowds will get bigger and bigger. If we lose again, the crowds will remain like they are. I don't think there's anything different from that. I don't think
we're going to know that for a little while. Because obviously the next league game is Livingston away, then Falkirk away. I think Genk, you might, but that obviously being a European game, people do tend to fill up Ibrox for the European games. So we're probably not going to know necessarily for a few weeks.
And then there's an opposing view, but there were nearly 35,000 there. I think that number might be skewed a little bit with season ticket CCCS payments going out, people getting tickets and not turning up. But they said that the protest was an embarrassment and the ones that stayed away aren't fans. If you choose to not go, then that's your prerogative. And if you choose to go, that's your prerogative. It doesn't make you any more or less of a fan, in my opinion. There'll be people that I know that didn't go because they just are sick of it and they don't want to do it. Now, equally, there'll be people there that are sick of it but still went because it's what they do. No one is right and no one is wrong in that situation. So, but if that is, and that's your opinion, then that's your opinion. We can't argue with it. That's fine. You're allowed to have it. That's why we all do this, so we can have a debate. It's not all one straight line way of thinking. Anything else? Because obviously, I'm having a mare of a night on here tonight. So, is there anything else I've missed? Nico Raskin given man of the match by pretty much everyone. I don't know. I'm assuming RTV gave it to Nico as well. And I think the stadium was Nico Raskin. I heard
Premier Sports gave it to Nico. Premier Sports gave it to Nico.
Yeah, they did. I couldn't watch it on RTV because mine kept, like Alex is probably stopping every 30 seconds and then jumping back and forth. But yeah, I mean, we wanted to win. We've got to win. We're in the semi-final. We have been to the final the last 4 of the last 5 years, I think, as well. So hopefully this keeps going on. It's not going to be easy. Look at the teams that are already in there. Motherwell, who've already been a thorn in our side this year. St Mirren, already been a thorn in our side this year. Hoping Partick this will get through tomorrow, obviously. But obviously it's not going to be easy no matter what happens. But we're there, and the only way you can win it is to be there. So that's us. We're in. We're done. I think Alex needs a bit of a break because he's got another long one to do later. You never know. You might see that man over there as well. He might make an appearance. You never know.
I'll be in my pit, unfortunately.
Yeah, I bet you will.
We've got a wedding to go to tomorrow. Not ours. We've got a wedding to go to, so I need a good night's sleep.
Oh, it's not important then. It's not yours. Whoever it is, hope you have a great day. Anyway, we will leave it there before I get Craig into any more trouble. Alex, Craig, thank you very much for tonight. And I don't do it the same way as Martin. I will speak to you somewhere else.